strategy roundtable discussion where we talk about current market conditions and answer any questions you might have. For those of you who are new, welcome. This is my brief bio. I was Executive Vice President, Head of Technology at Options Express from its inception to 2007. Options Express was an online broker-dealer acquired by Charles Schwab. When the company went public, I decided to manage my own money. My background is technology. I have a master's degree in computer science. So I built different models using AI and neural networks to find opportunity signals in the market and manage my own portfolio. I've been doing that for over 20 years. And then we have Keith, was Options Hotline, that joined us about a year and a half ago, that helps me moderate live trading room. And his experience is money management. He worked with hedge funds and market maker. So I encourage you to visit us in live trading room to learn more about us. But that's our background. It's a combination of both technology and trading experience. Disclosures are very important. If you're new to trading stock or options, I'm going to go through specific trade ideas. This is the link, optionscreen.com, where you can understand the risk associated with trading stock or options. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm here to show you what I do in my own account, based on my own risk tolerance level, for general education and information purposes only. All right, and if this is your first live event, do me a favor, type in questions, say hi or yes. Always want to see, welcome new people. We have Melanie, Paula, JT, not new, but welcome. Vincent, welcome back. Larry, Peter, Ismail, Alex, welcome back. I'm glad you guys can make it. All right, so let's go over current market conditions. If you look at the spiders, right? If you look at the spiders today, I'm usually using SPX. We broke to the 6,800 below that level, right? And we're, close to session low. So we closed the first gap, right? Market dropped. Close this gap, and now it's trying to close and basically close this gap, the breakout. This is back into very important level. This was all-time high for, let's go back to 1 day. So this was the high back in beginning of October, right? So this was October high, and then towards the end of October, we're able to break out of that level, and now we're retesting, right? So it's important level around 67, today's low, 6750, right? 20-day moving average, 6700, maybe slightly below that, but very important level. If you look at our models, so I'm looking at, let's look at aggressive power trader. So this is aggressive power trader where the market, you have opportunities. The signals for today were American Airlines, Wells Fargo, Macy's. You can see Wells Fargo is still positive. But for the spiders, it basically sees that stock market can continue going higher, 680, 687, as high as 700 as we approach in end of November, next 10 trading sessions. But if you look at the longer term trading, if you look at the longer term model, you can see that we're a little bit ahead of it itself, right? In the next few months, we can get 690, but next month or two, we could revisit, the lows, not the lows, but 680 level, right? 670 level. So short-term market is overbought. Medium-term, I think it's reasonable to expect the pullback. But the long-term trend resumes, and we continue making higher, potentially reaching 700 level, in the next couple of months, maybe by end of this year, maybe early next year. But that's the level that the model identified. If you look at the bar chart data, and now I'm looking, before I was looking at the model, yellow tunnel model that shows you the trend and direction in the market. Now I'm looking at the positioning data. So the spider's gamma is at 6,700, right? We talked about 6,700, 6,720 level. So that makes sense. It's at 6,724. Put wall is at 6,700. So the largest concentration of the puts right now is at 6,700. Right? If I go in and look at the all expiration dates, right? 50 plus minus 50 strikes. The largest area of concentration is the 6,700 for the puts, right? So roughly $22 billion worth of positioning just in the 6,700 strike. You can see there's some position in November expiration in the next 3 weeks, about actually $70 billion. And then in terms of December, close to $110 billion worth of positioning. So 6,700 level is pretty well supported. This is, we got to the 6,750, but this is your main support. Overhead resistance, you already see the largest call concentration is in 7,000 strike. And we have $36 billion worth of gamma at the 7,000 strike, right? So now the question is end of the year, right? We always kind of go through this exercise. Most of the position now in December, so let's pick December expiration, which is right before Christmas, December 19, right? And let's look what the distribution of possible outcomes can be. So in one scenario, we are trading at 7,000, right? So 7,000 or above. Right, so that's scenario number one. One standard deviation, you know, by end of November after Thanksgiving, which is very bullish time of the year, or by end of the year, earnings season is behind us for the most part. And we still have a lot of earnings, but majority of S&P 500 companies already announced earnings. Right now we're going through small cap, mid cap stocks like Palantir, Uber, Lyft, but you know, they're not going to most likely drive the market, even though a lot of people attribute today's pullback for, you know, Palantir and, you know, whether AI evaluations for AI companies actually justify the revenue. And we see mixed bag, right? Amazon did great and was up 10%. Microsoft, you know, Meta, you know, kind of, you know, more on the disappointing side. So scenario number two, right? Since, you know, Meta did not justify its earnings, their investment into the AI versus the revenue that they derive, at least in this quarter, they did not. Then the second scenario, October lows, right? We were at 65.50 in October, and that's basically one standard deviation, right? That's the blue bar. So one standard deviation, then we're trading in the range, right? We're trading in the range between October lows and the 7,000 level. And scenario three, I mean, government shutdown, we don't really know what the unemployment data looks like. We can extrapolate from the private data, but you know, we're still don't know exactly what the employment looks like. We have inflation data. Inflation looks like going in the right direction, but a lot of companies are going through layoffs. So, and there's an uptick in the bankruptcies rate, uptick in the bankruptcy, corporate bankruptcies, you know, personal bankruptcies and credit card. So maybe signs of recession, right? And then we drop below 6,500, maybe 6,400, maybe 6,200. But you have scenario number three, where go towards the end of the year, signs of recession. And we have scenario number three. So this is an important exercise. I encourage you always to do that, whether you're looking at the end of the year or you look at the end of the week or end of the day. You can look at this positioning data, right? Well, you know, you have 0 days till expiration options, so you can look at any day, right? But you can look at Friday, you can look at tomorrow, and just see where what's the range that the market can be trading on. So how many of you say we will, you know, reach 7,000 level? We'll get very close to 700 on SPY or 7,000 SPX. We'll get to 7,000, maybe 7,100 by end of the year. Scenario number two, no, we're trading in the range between 7,000 and 6,550. And scenario number three, we're going to go lower. Ismail, Alex, Peter, Vincent, JT, Melanie, Paula, Alan, what do you guys think? Scenario number one, scenario number two, or scenario number three? The Fed might not cut in December. So yeah, so scenario number two, yes, thank you, Alex. Paula, Alan? Melanie, JT, Peter, what do you guys think? All right. I'm going to be more optimistic. I'm going to go with one. I think today's pullback is totally normal. We could get to some, I think market will hold 6,500 level, but still, I think these are short-term pullbacks. And as we approach in either the Thanksgiving or Christmas, because of the seasonality effect, I think we can get to 7,000, right? 7,000 or more likely above. Shallow pullbacks, I would be a buyer into these pullbacks, right? But first thing first, right? We do need to make sure that this breakout level and the 20-day moving average holds. And if it doesn't, right, then the question is, will the October 50-day moving average or October low will hold, which is around 65.50, right? And we have a lot of positioning, so I think the positioning will help with that support. Interest rates have not changed, right? Despite the December interest rate cut is in question. Most economists do not expect 3 rate cuts this year. I think just lately, probabilities increase, but there's no new signal in 10-year yield, in 2-year yield, kind of trading in the range. Dollar is a bit stronger, right? It's trying to break through above the psychological 100 level. So that's negative for the market, but still, I don't think it's going to be a, vertical move to the upside in terms of dollar. That would be a bear, so I would watch the dollar. But as long as it's trading, what's the year high? So this year high before the Liberation Day, right? We're at 105 right before the Liberation Day. I mean, 104, 105, I think totally reasonable. It's been oversold for many months, kind of building the channel, building the bottom. Potentially could break out and get to the 102, 103 level. I think it's totally fine. We did have high yield, pretty sharp sell-off in high yield. So the difference between the treasury market and the junk bonds, that spread has widened, right? And that's not good for the market, but it's oversold, right? We're already retesting basically October lows, which is an important level, 200-day moving average in high yield, right? And also high-grade corporate bonds are also retesting April, March highs or the breakout level in August, and it looks like it's a little bit overdone. But approaching important support levels, and I would keep an eye on the Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been a good proxy for risk taking, and you can clearly see where the 100,000 today, right? So we broke through the 200-day moving average. Reaching basically retesting June lows. So we're retesting June lows. We broke through the 2025 highs of $110,000. Right? A lot of people said end of this year will be at 200,000. A lot of people were calling for 200,000 by end of the year, and it looks like we're flat for the year. Right? We're flat for the year when it comes to Bitcoin. But that's another proxy for risk taking, and I would keep an eye on this. If high yield all of a sudden continues to break down and Bitcoin continues to go lower, that could drive the S&P futures below the October lows. But first thing first, I would keep an eye on these levels first. And again, you can see across the board whether it's NVIDIA or Bitcoin is selling off. Let's look at some of the more speculative plays. HP, not HP, but Iran is actually doing well. Almost some of the AI stocks. MP, rare earth metal after China's strong pullback down. INQ, retesting October lows, down 7%. Pelletier, down 8%, Bitcoin down 5%, nuclear energy is down 4%. So definitely risk off. Robinhood, ARK Innovation, all kind of a risk off trade today. So any questions? Vincent, scenario number 1. Paul, scenario number 2. Okay, thank you. So nobody said 3. It's between 1 and 2. No, I think we can get. I mean, SPY 700 or SPX 7000, we were, what was the high this year? 69.20. So it's reasonable to assume that we're just going to revisit the highs, and this is just a short-term pullback. So I still think scenario number one is more likely by end of the year. So how do we help on yellow tunnel? We have different models, right? So you have aggressive power trader. Basically shows you the model runs every day. So the market model runs every day before market opens. We post the results 8 p.m. the previous day. By 8:30 a.m. usually there is, it's been updated with predictions and the signals. So today we have American Airlines, right? Airlines have been prior to today's sell-off, right? This is all as of yesterday data. But still, you can see American Airlines posting higher highs, higher lows after strong earnings. Pull back, but I still think this is a good signal. Macy's, right? Some of the retail stocks like Macy's are doing really well and continue to outperform the market. And Wells Fargo, the banks. Right? Wells Fargo, last week it was Bank of America, but you can see these signals, pretty good signals, and the market stocks continue to grind higher. So this is a model where you can see every day what the signals are. You can trade options. If you want to have leverage, you can buy weekly or monthly options. Right? You can go this week, or you can go to the next week, depends on your trading style. Support and resistance still. It says at 1293, we're at 1281. This is the buy signal. It's oversold, American Airlines, and once it reaches 1361, then potentially you want to trim your position. If you're doing short-term aggressive trading. And then if you're looking, further out, then it does see 13, right? The next few months we can reach 13. Short-term, 1150. And then. Okay. So that's aggressive power trader. If you look at the weekly power trader, this model runs every week, right? So the data gets updated each Sunday. Again, the idea is to only have 4 positions at a time with maximum loss of 2.5% of account value per position, right? And the signals have average 75% accuracy in live trading room. So I trade these signals, not all of them, but some of these signals I do trade. And like Caterpillar, Google, I have positions in Caterpillar and Google, HP, Morgan Stanley. Some of these I actually have the position. You can always go in like the orders and positions, and it will tell you which of these stocks I actually own. So Morgan Stanley, I'm long Morgan Stanley, right? You can use option spread, or you can use the stock. You can look at the history of these predictions, right? It gets posted every week on Sunday, so you can see what the previous week was. If you're looking for these signals, you can watch the recording in live trading room. If I trade them, then you would see live trading room recording every morning. You would get a recording here. You can look at if you want to learn about options, right, or calls, how to trade calls and puts. You can go into a recording or using different. There's a lot of videos, kind of these topics that are appropriate, evergreen, that talks about different webinars on different topics. And then you can analyze your own stock, right? If let's say you want to know what the model thinks about NVIDIA, then you can type in NVIDIA, click on analyze, and actually see what the model thinks about NVIDIA, right? Short-term 236, but again, long-term a little bit overbought, right? And you can actually see 190 print, 200. These predictions are posted the first of every month, the long-term predictions. Short-term predictions get recalibrated every day. So that's AI analysis that you can also do using our tools. Any questions on weekly power trader? Dynamic power trader is basically my portfolio of both stock and options. So you can actually see these are the actual positions I have, right? I have Morgan Stanley, I have Micron, Google, Caterpillar, some of them options positions, right? Some of them are stock positions. Like Caterpillar, I'm long stock. Micron, I had an option spread, closed it. Now I have a stock position. Morgan Stanley is a spread position. So you can see both combination of stock and options trade in dynamic power trader. Same thing, you can enter your phone number to get an SMS alert every time I trade. So you can get alerts and you can see history of the portfolio and then recordings. Any questions? So that's dynamic power trader. Earnings power trader is where I trade, once a week. I put on an opening trade, closing trade. We have DoorDash, Palantir, McDonald's, Qualcomm announcing earnings. At least one example. In the live trading room, I do more than one example, but I don't post them into the orders and positions. I try to analyze all these stocks in the live trading room, but these are where I look for outsized returns, right? I have a well-defined using options, right? Sometimes I would go long, right? And I would risk and look for 100%, 200% return on the investments of some of these trades. Sometimes I would sell premium, then it has higher probability of success, but low return on capital. Versus if I'm long the vol, then I have, low probability of success, but high return on capital. So you can see combination of both setups, where you search for high probability of success or low probability of success of trades. So that's earnings power trader, and finally profit accelerator. Profit accelerator is where I trade stocks. Right? So the same thing, you see Caterpillar, Google, Morgan Stanley, just the stock positions. Any questions? So Vincent, yeah, so if you compare TradeSpoon and Yellow Tunnel, they are very similar. On aggressive power trader, we run a little bit different models. Sometimes you get more than 3 signals, but you're right that a lot of the content is very similar in terms of models. The blog, the trader psychology part, TradeSpoon has more content on the just educational content and on general topics, technical analysis, option trading, where on Yellow Tunnel, there's more content on trading psychology. Right? Those are the main differences. But the signals themselves, some people like to have both, right? Because, like weekly power trader, there's up to 6 symbols, right? So you have Caterpillar, Google, HP, Morgan Stanley, Micron, Nucor Energy. So sometimes you get more signals on Yellow Tunnel, right? And then when you do your portfolio construction, you have to make a decision. But thank you, Vincent. How many different platforms do I have? Well, I manage Yellow Tunnel and TradeSpoon. So Melanie, thank you for the question. I manage Yellow Tunnel. We also have a TradeSpoon, right? You can actually see in this recordings, these videos actually come from both TradeSpoon and Yellow Tunnel, especially Active Investor Workshop. These are all TradeSpoon videos, but if you want to learn about options or calendar spreads, it doesn't matter what platform, but these are educational content that basically is available to you for free, right? Available for free. Any combo pricing offering multiple strategies? Let's open up a support ticket. Yeah, if you're looking for deals, we do have. You can go to pricing. So in terms of models, you can go to dashboard, right? You go to a dashboard. Looks like I'm having some difficulties now on dashboard. I have to figure this out. But you can, you can first of all schedule one-on-one consultation. You can always schedule one-on-one consultation. Right? Pick a date and time where you can schedule a consultation with our product specialist, right? And then you can, if you want to combine different services into one, we can also offer you a price. We can also offer you a different specials. I think last week, if you're looking for special, last week we were running I believe, yeah, profit accelerator. So I can post this one. And then we have our AI bots asking you questions. So I'll post this here. So you can get, in this example, you can get profit accelerator and earnings power trader, right, together as one. You can just sign up for profit accelerator, but we also would add earnings power trader. right? So that would be the Alex. I'll post it here. And then if you want something different, then just I would, either open up a support ticket or schedule a consultation. It's free consultation with our product specialist, Keith. So he can also help you with those questions. Peter, sounds good, but I've lost. Check your website, Peter. Okay. Fair enough. We do have 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you're looking for a 30-day money-back guarantee, we definitely have that. So you can try it for 30 days, and if you don't like it, then you can, you'll get the refund, right? But the best thing is to sign up, right? You can sign up for any of these services and join live trading room, right? So we do have live trading room. You can watch the recordings, right? You can go to recordings. Every trade gets recorded in performance. Every trade gets analyzed, and you can watch the recording of trading room, right? You can click on trading room on the recordings and watch the recordings. And then I would watch a couple of these videos, and if this fits your trading style and you like it, then great. And we have people that have been there for, on TradeSpoon and Yellow, on TradeSpoon side over 10 years, right? On Yellow Tunnel side, we have people for 5 years. So everybody has different strategy. People looking for different signals. Some people look for actually the actual portfolio, right? They just want to mimic your portfolio. So we have these services for both, depending what you're looking for. All right. So that's earnings power trader, profit Excel. What else we have? So we do have web blog. So every Sunday we do post a blog. So I encourage you to visit that. And what else? And so that's free, right? So the blogs are for free. And then the webinar, right? You can go to trade analysis and actually look at the webinar itself. All right, if there are no other questions, then that's all I have for today. You guys have been awesome. Thank you for joining. Consider, you can always go to Priceline or Contact and sign up for any of these services. I did post, one discounted offer if you're looking for that. And join us, come view live training room, or come every Tuesday. We have a webinar at 12 o'clock, and every Thursday we have a webinar on AGT platform, broker-dealer platform. So you have webinars on Tuesday, webinar on Thursday at 12 o'clock, and then every day we have live trading room, which you can join. You can watch a couple of these videos, and then usually you can make a good decision whether this is something that fits your trading style or not. All right, Vincent, we have a lot of feedback today. Dr. Simon, JT, Margaret, Ellen, Melanie, Alex, Ismail. All right, we have a lot of people. Sorry I was late this morning, but I appreciate your time. Thank you very much and have a great day.